what's going on. I'm going to continue talking about this freaking, these times of judgment here. So basically, after the time of Exodus, like once they go dry shod over the Red Sea, and then they're out waiting in the wilderness on the other side, and then Moses up in the mountains, right? And they're down there like having sport, making merry, and they get so crazy as to they start freaking developing their own idols, man. Like, and what's funny is it was Aaron who made the freaking idol, it says in there, and it's a golden calf. And basically they're having orgies, and they're decorating this thing with cloth, which is kind of weird. There's a type and shadow to that. There's certain Indians that go to a tree, and they hang a bunch of freaking like pieces of cloth on it. And I've been seeing this freaking ritual pop right back up, which is another, even though it was an idolatrous ritual, but it shows the children of Israel did these idolatries, man, and some of the ways they did them. And you can see these types and shadows. Like, look, if they came out of whoever you see pyramids, man, you can look. That could have been the children of Israel that did that. Or somebody related to them. Anyway, freaking, so they make this idol, and they have this freaking they're starting to do the same religious practices that they were doing in Egypt, and then all of a sudden the ground opens up and swallows all these people. Like, Moses comes down, he breaks the freaking commandments. He's like, now look, if you're either going to do this stuff, you're going to have to stand on that sideline, or you're going to do what we're supposed to do on this side of the line. And then freaking the ground opened up and swallowed all these people up, man. That's a time of judgment. There was, there was a time these people were complaining about they were going to die. So God let them eat this, had it rain quail. And some of these guys ate so much like they freaking blew up and died. You know what I'm saying? There's times where these guys were doing strange fire, and bam, they exploded. Freaking, they just died on the spot. But like Ananias and Sapphira, when they lied to the Holy Spirit, bam, they died right on the spot. Time of judgment. I think, what's the dude's name? Herodes. This guy was like the ruler at the time, and he was, I think he was the one killing the children, and this guy ends up dying of worms. You know what I'm saying? Freaking like parasites, probably from eating that mouse swine. You know what I'm saying? Freaking, who knows? But look, seems that guy got judged. It's like a great type and shadow of finding a time where there's a lot of judgment going on. And then actually God sometimes puts people in the place of the judger. Like, look, there's even a book called Judges. And there's a lot of good, that's like got like story of Gideon in it. Gideon took 300. You can see how they type and shadow and steal stuff from the Bible all the time. And what's funny, even the Spartans in the book of Maccabees, it says that they were sons of Abraham. The Spartans were. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's freaking, it's ridiculous that it was that well known to people a few hundred years ago, but in the last century, they've totally erased all of history, like the connections, dude. It's just freaking kind of ridiculous. It's a judgment, not knowing your history, being captive 400 years. Freaking look, and work hard in Egypt. Look, could that be us? But anyway, another good time of judgment was the prophet Elijah, and then the other, his protege Elisha. And it's like, basically, you had this time of judgment where, look, if Elijah would pray, he could make the rain stop. Like, because these people wouldn't stop doing freaking idolatry, he was making the rain stop. And they were starting to hate him for making the rain stop, but it was really God using him to make the rain stop, because these people wouldn't stop their freaking idolatry. They were believing in Baal, the storm god, right? So God was showing them, like, look, your Baal storm god ain't shit. He ain't jack shit. You need to stop it now, and you'd stop suffering. That's why I saw in one place there would be rain, and in another place there wouldn't. And it was like, even God says at one point, he's like, look, I left enough waters for you guys to share, but because you people are so idolatrous in certain places, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it was a bad thing happening to these people, but they little did they know it's in God's perfect timing and mercy that it was going on. But also, you know, like here comes he invites the prophets of Baal to do a contest. Now he'll pray to the Lord God, and then he let all these guys do their voodoo, and we'll see who responds. And all these dudes get caught on fire. They straight up blow up, get vaporized. These prophets of Baal. There's a time where, like, God told the prophet to go find Jehu and anoint him king, and Jehu gets anointed king, and then Jehu throws a party to Baal, and he's like, basically, all Baal worshippers show up here. We're gonna have a big Baal thing going on. And it was a fertility, sex, death cult, so, you know, everybody's showing up, you know what I'm saying, to get down in the festivities. And then once they all get in there, he locks the door, and he's like, no, send the dudes in and slaughter them all. And they went in there, frickin' judgment. Jezebel is up in the frickin' tower saying, she's going, na boo boo, you can't get me. And Jehu's like, hey, you two eunuch servants, you want to live? Throw Jezebel here. Jezebel goes flying out the window and then hits the ground. And the dogs ate her body, but her hands were so grody from being a manipulator, a master manipulator, and a frickin' con woman, that they didn't even eat her hands. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a great frickin' story. Frickin' Ahab gets a lying spirit sent to him, said that he's not going to die in this war, that he will conquer. And then he goes there and gets frickin' like, basically gets nicked with an arrow and frickin' dies from it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Frickin' judgment times. I mean, there's a part where these kids are making fun of Elijah, and he's like, and he frickin' rebukes them, and then frickin' 2 she-bears come out of the woods and just rent and tore at and smote all the children. These mocker children. Judgment. There's another part where this guy, it was Elisha, and he's out there, and he helped this king that had leprosy, and frickin' the king was trying to give him money frickin' for it, and he's like, no, I don't want it. So his next guy, his servant guy that would work with him, that would roll with him, he was kind of Judas of type and shadow of the sort, where a guy who's trying to get paid off God's frickin' stuff that's going on, like where they all go wrong. Like, look, this happened again. Levi's sons were using their position as priests, having extra meat as a way to attain wealth, and they could use that to bribe in women to have little orgies going on in the temple, and bang, these 2 dudes died. But this guy, even worse, he went back and then tried to get that payment money from the king, and he was like, oh, Elijah sent me, and he just told me just, you know, to take a little bit of this stuff, we could use that. And then when he does that, frickin', he goes back to Elijah, and Elijah's like, man, you should not have done that, dude. Now that whole curse that just was off the other guy is coming onto you now. And the dude frickin' started to turn white as snow. Frickin', which was the sign of the leprosy at the time. So, man, it's these times of judgment happen frequently. I mean, and look, here's the thing. There's in Chronicles it says, what have ye to do with the children of Israel? And this is an end times prophecy, dude, because if you read Genesis 49, it shows you there's 12 different sons of Jacob. Judah is just one guy. Levi's one guy. Benjamin's one guy. So there's 3 of them, right? So where'd the other 9 go? Well, it tells you right in the Bible, right at this point of the 2nd Kings, towards the end, frickin' that the children of, there was 2 houses. There's Greater Israel called Yasharallah. There was no Jews in Greater Israel. Israel, actually, the Jews weren't even in Israel. Israel are the other kingdoms, okay? But together, greater Israel has Benjamin, Levi, and frickin' Judah there too. But there was the northern kingdom, which was us, Yasharallah. Lower kingdom, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But that's the thing. Every tribe has Levites in it. They're basically like priests, dudes that took the priest duties in their local area. Frickin', they were over that, and were supposed to live in the borders of the camp around every different tribe. Okay, so it's like, and look, as Daniel was getting taken to Babylon, frickin' that was Judah was taken to Babylon. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, supposedly. But the other kingdoms, the other tribes, went under the Assyrians. And you can see this in Isaiah. You're going to eat from your own vine, drink from your own cistern. But what that meant was they had to be in captivity on his land. And as long as they agreed to their captivity and were mercenaries in this guy's frickin' army, frickin' he'd let them live. But if not, they cut your nose off and bang your chick and take your life. Dude, look, and just take all your stuff. And God even says in Isaiah, hey, you better just take the punishment when I send you into frickin' captivity, because if not, this is going to be a cruel master I'm going to put over you. But we deserved it for our frickin' idolatry, for all our Baal worship and our fucking sacrifices, and human sacrifices, okay? So, but this is right in the Bible, but look, people dismiss it. They overlook it. It's as if it's covered up, as if a spirit of sleep and dumbness. And, I can't read the book's sealed. I don't know how to prophesy this. Freaking look, like people are lying. They're dumb to it, but it's right. It's the remnant of Jacob, Ephraim. Freaking look, that's Joseph's freaking, who got the Joseph blessing. Look, people just don't understand this stuff. They have an identity crisis, and they just don't get it. Look, all Hebrews are not Jews, but Jews are Hebrews. There's the connection, okay? But true Israel is the northern kingdom that went under Assyria. And also, some of these guys got traded to the Greeks. Frickin' look, that was next. It was the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, then the Romans. And look, Israelites were taken, shanghaied, and sent over to the four corners of the earth, and sifted and scattered amongst other people. The Indians even used to do that. When there was a tribe that was so bad, they would go in, slaughter all the men, and they would take all the women and sift them amongst the people, so that that tribe could never rise back into power again, where it gets adopted into the other tribe, and the memory of them being sovereign is erased. Okay? God will do that. That was how God got rid of a lot of people, is that he sifted them. And that's one of Abraham's his prophecies is that his descendants would be like the sand of the sea, and they'd be spread to the four corners of the earth and to the four winds. Okay? So it's like us Indians here, look, that was a time of judgment when Europe showed up. And then once they turned into America, it was another judgment. It was like you had one beast manifested into another beast, and by the time it's all over, they're sifting you and melting potting you, and you've been taken back into captivity as they were bringing slaves here to build their empire. And look, all the money has Egyptian iconography, and that's because they venerate slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's still to this day, it's on there, dude. You trust in the shadow of Egypt, but you can't even lean on that stick, because it ain't. Egyptology's fake. It's like a frickin' grandized, modernized adaptation, a frickin' eclectic kind of mosh posh composite religion. Anyway, so it's like, look, which is believing in that is bondage, slavery. Anyway, mental slavery, spiritual slavery. Frickin' anyway. So, it's a time of judgment. And these are the judgments that you can look to the past as a type and shadow of what kind of judgments are going to come upon us, man. Through this, the Revelations 4 horsemen. We're here. Frickin', you know what I'm saying? It's here. How's it feel, you know? How's it feel for you? I know I don't like it. But it is what it is, man. Freaking, anyway, much love. God bless. Safe travels. Until next time. Peace.